Most golfers have the wrong idea about shaft lean. Whenever I do a post about shaft lean, a lot of people go, well, hang on, the hands need to work, the hands need to release, I need to throw my hands. Or that's only for the best players. So with my experience coaching, what I see is basically the average golfers have too little shaft lean and are scared of getting shaft lean. Their fear is they will hit the ball right and they'll hit shanks with it. That's the big scare. But the other things they think about is how much energy it puts on the body, and they'd rather be kind of what they would feel is a bit lazy and let the hands go, and that's where they generate, let's say, an easier swing with more speed. So if you have more than 11 degrees of shaft lean, I'm happy with you trying to be more handsy through the golf ball. If you don't have that 11 degrees of shaft lean, then I'd encourage you to get more, because it will give you great contact. It'll allow you to de-loft this club, so you get the most efficiency in terms of distance, but it'll also feel great. It'll feel like nothing else you've ever hit if you haven't done it before. Now, there are conditions. We need to make sure we keep the arms and body moving and connected, and we also need to make sure that we have some rotation in the arms to keep the face square, for sure. So let's discuss that. So most golfers, when they feel they get this shaft lean, they fear this kind of action. And if you do it wrong, that will happen. That will obviously create shots that go way to the right, or a later flip, which is still a flip. And it can also encourage you to create heel or shank contacts, which obviously we don't want. So the key is when we create shaft lean, like this, we also need to make sure we're rotating and we're staying connected. So the best way to feel that is to do some little exercises. In terms of the rotation bit, one of the best ways to feel rotation is to take your right hand and put it like this on the grip and make a little half swing. And in order to get that to come around, you really have to open your thorax up through the ball. And again, through lots of 3D testing and 3D education from my friends who are 3D experts, most golfers, apart from tour players, don't open the thorax enough. Sometimes this is because of the position they're in delivery won't allow them to do this. If the thorax moves forward and high, you won't rotate. If you do, you'll miss the golf ball. So then from there, you learn to extend and reduce the rotation. So for every action, there's a reaction, of course. But doing this exercise here will really make you feel, okay, yeah, in order for me to try and even make a shot, soft shot, and make some form of contact, even if it's like that, topped away, you will feel that you really have to rotate. Otherwise, the ball will dribble to the right. So that's a great way of you feeling what kind of rotation you need in this part of the body. As I said, ideally we make sure the bits that precede this are correct also. But we're really talking about really shaft lean through the golf ball. Secondly to this, I want you to feel what I call an active movement and putting force into the handle. So this force, this kind of lag, and feeling that the energy is there as opposed to here is the key thing. So a couple of things to feel this. Left hand only. Try and feel like you make ground contact as far after the ball as you can. That gets you to feeling, okay, how do I put force into this part rather than that part? Secondly, if we go to split grip into delivery and I feel, okay, pull the left hand forward and up, I feel there's some rotation. And again, if I come in a bit closer there, you feel there's a rotation there in my thumb. Both thumbs are rotating. The right arm is still keeping some flex in it, but it's certainly straightening. That's a great way of feeling how we rotate the shaft so it's closing or squaring up to the arc in which we're swinging on. So it's not a flap to close, it's a rotation to close. And we want to rotate ideally with the body, the hands, the shaft, the club head, with the shaft leaning forward. So that's the feeling we'd have to get the kind of activeness of the handle going forward, and that happens also with the body going forward in a lateral sense. So we want that body actively going forward. And that one there was just munched, a little low, driven 7-iron. Just really focusing on making sure I was forward. Now ideally when we go forward, and probably what I did there a little bit incorrectly, is my head's probably a bit too forward too. The head needs to be swiveling and going this way, and that allows us again to get better connection, better rotational forces as well. But I'm certainly happy with the contact. So the last thing we're going to cover is really how we keep that connection and work a little bit on that head swivel. So the best way of feeling the connection for me is a rod under the arm. And again, actively feel that rotation, keep that rod there. That keeps the arms and body connected. We're rotating like that. So let's go ahead and hit one, try and keep that rod. Again, that one, albeit felt awkward, it's a great shot. Really happy with the direction, really happy with how my body felt. It feels just having a bit of a workout. So I really felt I rotated more than normal. I'm a bit stiff, a bit old, all those things, like some of you may be watching will feel as well. But this definitely made me feel I moved differently. And the idea is not really transforming you really from your natural self into a superhuman athlete, because that might be unrealistic. The idea is always influencing you to be better. So if, for example, at contact, if we were 5 degrees open and we want to be more like 20, 25, if you can go from 5 to 10, that will reduce your hand action slightly and increase your shaft lean slightly. And those two things will probably guarantee you more ball and turf contact. We're not all trying to be PGA Tour players and be the best movers in the world, but we certainly should all be striving to move a little bit better, is what I would say. And these exercises and fields and drills will certainly encourage that. Let's do one normal shot where we concentrate on the end position, and that's a great swing thought to have for the course. So the end position I want you to focus on, really getting the tailbone forward, kind of level with where the ball was at the start, trying to feel that your head stays somewhere near that ball line too. I feel like your head is tilted to the right, hips pushed to the left, and your knees, if you can, pressed together. So if we get the tailbone and rotational and the tilt correctly like that, we know we're going to pretty much move through the golf ball really, really well. Now, don't worry if you can't get exactly there. I'm probably not going to be able to get exactly there myself, but I'm certainly going to try. And trying to do it as a swing thought, as I said just now, is a great swing thought to have. So as the shot goes, couldn't be happier. I probably could have worked my tailbone a bit more this way, and I probably could have stayed in a little bit more tilt. I am 49, I'm a little bit stiff. So it's again, if I practice that in a slow, deliberate way, regularly, then I'm sure I would get closer to the position I would want. But that, for me, would be pretty good, and I'd be pretty happy with the outcome for sure. So the idea would be to go to the golf course and have maybe a simple backswing thought, something like turn, and then the through swing to have myself try and get into that kind of pose position and be committed. Give that a go and let me know how you're getting on.